The cave was narrower than I expected. My shoulders scraped the limestone. My headlamp flickered once, then steadied. I was deep underground in northern Thailand, crawling through a passage that felt like it was closing in with every breath. And in that moment, I realized something was wrong. I couldn't turn around, and going forward felt impossible. My chest tightened, my breathing got shallow, and for the first time in my life, I understood what it meant to be truly trapped. Welcome to Good Stories Today, your channel for emotional and inspiring stories. Listen while you drive, work, or simply seek inspiration. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next videos. Chapter 1. Why I was there. My name is David. I'm 51 years old. I work in finance. I live in Seattle. And 6 months before I ended up in that cave, I was sitting in my therapist's office, trying to explain why I felt so empty. Not depressed, not broken, just hollow. I don't know what I'm looking for, I told her. I just know something's missing. She asked if I'd considered taking time for myself, doing something outside my routine, so I booked a trip to Thailand, solo, 3 weeks, no plan. I thought maybe if I went far enough away, I'd find whatever it was I was missing. I thought maybe adventure would fill the void. I'd been in Chiang Mai for a week when I saw a flyer for a guided cave expedition. Experience the silence beneath the earth, it said. Challenge yourself in one of Thailand's most beautiful limestone caves. Something about it pulled me in. Not the adventure part, not the challenge, the silence. I wanted silence. My life had been so loud for so long. Emails, meetings, obligations, noise. And I thought, maybe down there, in the dark, I'll finally be able to hear myself think. So I signed up. The group was small, 6 of us, a local guide named Somchai. We met early in the morning at the base of a limestone mountain covered in dense jungle. Somchai was calm, experienced. He'd been guiding cave tours for 15 years. This cave is beautiful, he said, but it's not easy. Some passages are very narrow. If anyone feels uncomfortable, we turn back. No shame. Everyone nodded. I wasn't worried. I'd done harder things. I'd climbed mountains. I'd run marathons. How hard could a cave be? I thought I was looking for adventure. I didn't realize I was looking for relief. Chapter 2. Going deeper than I should have. The first part of the cave was breathtaking. Massive chambers with stalactites hanging like chandeliers. Underground streams reflecting our headlamps. The air was cool and damp. We moved slowly, carefully. Somchai pointed out formations, explained the geology. It was peaceful, exactly what I'd been looking for. After about an hour, we reached a narrower passage. This section is optional, Somchai said. It's tighter. If you're claustrophobic, you can wait here. We'll be back in 30 minutes. 3 people decided to wait. I didn't hesitate. I wanted to go deeper. The passage started wide enough to walk through, bent over. But after a few minutes, it narrowed. We had to crouch, then crawl. The walls pressed in from both sides. The ceiling dropped lower. My backpack scraped the rock above me. Somchai was ahead. The other 2 people were behind me. I could hear their breathing, the scrape of their gear, the sound of our movements echoing in the confined space. And then, gradually, those sounds got quieter. The group was spreading out. I kept crawling. The passage twisted to the left, then down, then left again. My headlamp beam bounced off wet limestone inches from my face. I couldn't see Somchai anymore. I called out, "How much further?" His voice came back, muffled. "Not far. Keep going." So I did, but the passage kept narrowing. My shoulders were touching both walls now. I had to turn sideways to fit through some sections. My backpack kept catching on the ceiling. I stopped and tried to adjust it, and that's when I realized the people behind me weren't making noise anymore. "Hello?" I called back. Silence. They must have taken a different turn, or stopped to rest. I'd figure it out when I got through this section. I kept moving. The air changed. The sound disappeared. And I started to feel very very alone. Chapter 3. The Mistake. The passage curved sharply to the right. I angled my body, trying to follow it. But my backpack caught. I pulled. It didn't budge. I tried to back up. Couldn't. The walls were too close. I tried to twist my shoulders. The backpack wedged tighter. Panic started to rise. Not full panic, just a flutter in my chest. Okay, I thought, just take off the backpack. I reached back, trying to find the straps, but my arms were pinned. I couldn't reach. I tried to wiggle forward. Maybe if I could get another few inches, I could create enough space to slip the pack off. I pushed with my legs. Nothing. I pushed harder. My chest pressed against the rock. My breathing got shallow. I couldn't move forward. I couldn't move back. I was stuck. The realization hit me like a punch to the gut. I'm trapped, underground, in a cave in Thailand, and no one knows exactly where I am. My heart started racing. "Samchai!" I yelled. My voice bounced off the walls, distorted and hollow. No response. "Hello?" Silence. I tried again to pull myself backward. My backpack scraped against the ceiling. My shoulders jammed against the walls. I couldn't get leverage. I couldn't breathe deeply because my chest was pressed too tightly against the rock. Sweat started dripping into my eyes. My headlamp beam shook, and I thought, this is bad. This is really bad. The cave wasn't my enemy. My thoughts were... Chapter 4. Mental Collapse. The fear came fast, not gradually, not slowly building. It hit me all at once, like a wave crashing over me. I'm going to die here. That thought entered my mind, and I couldn't get it out. I'm going to die here, alone, stuck in a rock, and no one will find me for hours. Maybe days. My breathing got faster, shallower. I tried to calm down, tried to think logically, but logic wasn't in charge anymore. Panic was. Images started flashing through my mind. My ex-wife, my daughter, Emma. She was only 12. What would she think when she found out her dad died in a cave halfway around the world? Would she be angry? Sad? Would she even care? We hadn't talked much since the divorce. I'd been so busy, so distant, and now I might never get the chance to fix it. I tried to move again, pushed with my legs, pulled with my arms. Nothing. The walls felt like they were closing in. I know they weren't. I know it was just my mind, but it felt real. The darkness pressed in. The silence was deafening. My chest hurt. I couldn't get a full breath. I'm suffocating, I thought. I'm going to suffocate. I started hyperventilating. Short, rapid breaths, in and out, in and out. My vision blurred. My hands tingled. I was making it worse. I knew I was making it worse, but I couldn't stop. The panic had taken over completely. And then, in the middle of all that fear, a thought came through, crystal clear. You're going to die because you can't calm down, not because you're stuck, because you can't breathe. And if you don't stop panicking right now, you're not going to make it. My mind was running faster than my body ever could, and it was killing me. Chapter 5. The moment of surrender. I don't know how long I stayed like that, stuck, panicking, convinced I was going to die. It could have been 5 minutes. It could have been 20. Time stopped meaning anything. But at some point, something inside me shifted. Not because I found strength, because I ran out of it. I couldn't fight anymore. I was exhausted, mentally, physically, emotionally. And in that exhaustion, something quieter took over. A voice, not audible, just there. Stop. I closed my eyes. In total darkness, it didn't make a difference. But it felt different. I stopped trying to move, stopped trying to think my way out, stopped trying to control the situation, and I just breathed. Not fast, not shallow, just slow, deliberate. In, hold, out, hold. The panic was still there, the fear was still there, but I wasn't fighting it anymore. I let it sit next to me, and I prayed. Not a formal prayer, not words I'd memorized, just Honest, God, I don't know if you're listening. I don't know if you care, but I'm scared. And I don't know what to do. I'm not asking you to get me out. I'm just asking you to keep me calm enough to think. Please, just stay with me. And slowly, so slowly, my breathing evened out. My heart rate slowed. The fear didn't disappear, but it became manageable. I opened my eyes. The cave was still there. I was still stuck. But I wasn't panicking anymore. And in that stillness, I could think. I didn't ask God to take the fear away. I asked Him to stay with me inside it. Chapter 6. The way out, I started small. First, assess. Where exactly was I stuck? What was catching? I moved my right hand slowly, feeling around. My backpack. The top strap was wedged under a rock outcropping. Okay, if I could unhook the strap, maybe I could slide the pack off. I reached back. My fingers brushed the buckle. Almost. I stretched a little more. My shoulders screamed in protest. Got it. I unclipped the buckle. The backpack loosened. Next, can I get it off? I tried to slide my left arm out of the strap. Slowly, carefully, inch by inch. The wall scraped my arm. The rock bit into my skin, but it moved. I got my left arm free, then my right. The backpack slid off my back and landed behind me. I felt lighter. More space. Now, can I move backward? I pressed my palms against the rock and pushed, sliding my body back a few inches, then a few more. The passage widened slightly. I kept going, slow, controlled, focused, not thinking about what could go wrong, just thinking about the next inch. After what felt like forever, the walls opened up enough for me to turn my body. I could move more freely now. I grabbed my backpack, slung it in front of me, and crawled backward. Eventually, I reached a wider section. Then the chamber where the others had waited. They were there, all of them. "David, there you are," one of the guys said. "We thought you went back." Samchai looked concerned. "Are you okay?" I nodded, couldn't speak yet. "Let's get you out," he said. We made our way back to the entrance. When I finally stepped out into the sunlight, I collapsed on the ground. My clothes were torn. My arms were scraped and bleeding. But I was out. I was alive. Nothing dramatic. Nothing heroic. Just presence. Just breath. Just one small movement at a time. Conclusion: what changed? I stayed in Thailand for another week after that. But I was different. Not because I'd survived something dangerous, but because I'd learned something I didn't know I needed to learn. I'd spent my whole life trying to control things. My career, my relationships, my emotions. I thought control meant strength, but in that cave, control was the problem. The more I fought, the worse it got. The more I panicked, the more trapped I became. It wasn't until I stopped fighting, until I surrendered, that I found a way through. I called my daughter when I got back to the hotel that night. "Emma, it's Dad." "Dad, are you okay? Where are you?" "I'm in Thailand, and I'm okay. I wanted to hear your voice." There was a pause. "I'm glad you called," she said quietly. "Me too." I didn't tell her about the cave, not yet, but I told her I loved her, and I told her I was sorry for being so distant. And I promised to do better. I entered that cave looking for answers. I left knowing that fear doesn't disappear when you fight it. It disappears when you stop running from it. Final reflection. We all enter narrow spaces in life, moments where panic feels justified, where control disappears, where we feel trapped and alone. And in those moments, we think the answer is to fight harder, push harder, force our way through. But sometimes, the way out isn't strength. It's stillness, it's surrender, it's trusting that if you stop fighting and start listening, the path will become clear. I'm not saying faith is easy. I'm not saying fear goes away. But I am saying this. When you're stuck in the dark, the only way forward is to stop running from it. And sometimes, In the silence, you find exactly what you've been looking for. If this story resonated with you, subscribe to Good Stories today for more human stories about fear, faith, and finding meaning at the edge. Thanks for listening. And remember, you're stronger than you think, not because you can fight everything, but because you can survive anything, one breath at a time. See you in the next story.